We've already built an interactive dashboard for Atlanta airport delays in the previous video. But now I'll show you some of the many dashboard formatting options that are available. We've got our color legend here in its own container, but I like for my legends to be closer to the visualization they're associated with. I'll select that color legend for the map, use the drop-down menu, and select floating. Then it's floating and you can move it anywhere. I'll move it over closer onto the map and drop it. And then I'll do the same thing for the size legend. Select it, select floating, and drag and drop. I also want to increase some of the font sizes. Since the changes that we make to each worksheet will be reflected in the dashboard, then we just need to increase the font sizes on each worksheet. The easiest way to do that is to format at the workbook level. You can do this by using the Format menu in the top toolbar and selecting Workbook from that menu. I'll select it now. The Formatting Workbook pane will appear on the left-hand side. For the Worksheets option, I'll increase the font size to 11. And notice that the font size increased for all visualizations in the dashboard. And then you can close that menu. For the text table up top, I want to increase the font size even more so that the numbers are very large. I could go to its worksheet to do that, but it's more convenient to do it here on the dashboard so that you can get the sizing just right. I'll right-click on any mark and then select Format in the menu. The Format pane will appear on the left-hand side, and there will be a lot of options in this pane. Sometimes you might have to try several of them to find exactly what you're looking for. I want to increase the size of the font for the whole worksheet, including headers and marks. That's under the Sheet tab, under Default, and then Worksheet. I'll increase the size to 15. Also, the font in this table is currently right aligned. Let's change that to be center aligned. You can use the Alignment button up at the top, and then under Pane, use Center Align. There are also many options for formatting the dashboard itself, and the ones you use are a matter of personal preference. Let's go back up to the Format menu in the top toolbar and then select Dashboard this time. The Format Dashboard pane will appear with options for shading and font. For the dashboard shading option, I'll pick a light gray. And then notice that the background shading changed for much of the dashboard, but not for each visualization that's in the dashboard. I'll also set the dashboard title option for shading to a slightly darker gray and then add a border. Then I'll increase the size of the title a little bit more to a font size of 22 so that it stands out. To change the background shading of each individual visualization, you'll need to use the format options for each worksheet. For example, I can right-click in the line chart and select Format in the menu. And then I can use the shading button, and then for Worksheet, set it as the same light gray that I used for the dashboard. And then you would need to do the same thing for each of the other sheets. Right-click in the bar chart, select Format, go to Shading, and then for Worksheet, select the light gray. Right-click in the text table, select Format, go to Shading, and select light gray. One thing to know is that you cannot set a custom color for the map's shading. Instead, that's controlled by formatting options specific to maps. For example, you can right-click on the map and then select Background Layers. And then you can set the style and washout that works well for you. I like normal and I like washout of 0. But of course you can change that. Let's close that pane. You can also use dashboard objects to further adjust how your dashboard is displayed, and you'll see them to the bottom left of your screen. For example, see how close together the line chart and the bar chart are? What if you wanted a little bit more space between them? If you try dragging the containers around, they'll move together, and there doesn't seem to be a way to get more space between them. A trick that many Tableau users use is to drag and drop in a blank object and then resize it. So I will find that blank object, drag it in, and resize. Other objects that you can add include web pages, text, and images. I'll select a text object and then drag it into the dashboard and drop it just below the bar chart. It's a good idea to include information about your data source. I'll type in data source and note that this is from the U.S. Bureau of Transportation Statistics. You can change the font color and the size if you would like. And click OK. And then you can resize it. One thing to note is that in Tableau, those editors that you're using right here, they do not have a spell check, so always be sure to check your spelling. Once you have your dashboard working well, you can put it into presentation mode using this button at the top. This is helpful if you plan to present it to others in a meeting, and you can use the interactivity that you've built into the dashboard. You can click and show some of your most interesting and important findings. I recommend practicing before you present your dashboard to others so that you know what you want to click on and what it will show. That'll make your presentation go more smoothly. There's also an exit presentation button in the bottom right corner. Or you can also hit escape on your keyboard. As a last step, now we can clean up the workbook a little bit more. I like to hide each worksheet. Then your workbook will have a nice clean look and it'll only show the dashboard when you open it. So for each one of your worksheets, you can right-click on it and hide it. And I'll do that for all 4. And you'll only see the dashboard here now. You can still go back to hidden worksheets easily by going to the Go to Sheet button. You can also unhide them using that same menu. There might be a few more things that we could change as far as sizing goes, and I'll let you try some of those perhaps on your own. I'll go ahead and end this video here, but be sure to save your workbook before closing it.